Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Dondi with FloraCraft. We also have Mariah on chat today, so she'll be there to answer any of your questions. And be sure to let us know where you're calling from. Give us your name and let us know where you're calling from so we can chat. We are broadcasting from Ludington, Michigan today, and it is white and snowy out there. We bought, I don't know, probably 4 inches of snow out there. So it's cold and snowy here. So today we're doing this fun, it's kind of a faux flocked wreath in a pretty simple design. And then at the end, I'm going to show you a couple ways to change this up if you want something different. So if we want to go to overhead, I'll show what I found at Michael's to create this wreath. So this is our 14-inch white extruded wreath. It comes in green too. It's just nice to use the white so that it doesn't show through our fabric. So it's our 14-inch extruded. Then you're gonna need this loops and threads Sherpa. It's 18 by 30 inch. It's just a fuzzy, flexible fabric, or stretchy fabric. And then you can use any picks that you want. These are some from Michael's. So they have just a plain green with some red berries. I also used this frosted pinecone pick in mine. They have one with the little red jingle bells and a little bit of glitter. This one's a little bit bigger pine boughs with a little bit of snow and some red berries. And then this one has a little bit of glitter, a little bit of ice, and some little baby pine cones. So just a few of the different types of picks that are at Michael's right now that'll work for this craft. And then to create this garland, this I threaded myself. So I used loops and threads, craft beads. They're probably like, I'd say 15 millimeter to maybe 8 millimeter. They're smaller, the smaller bead pack. And then also bead landing is this Lamé cord, and it can be any cord. You could probably use jute, fish line, any cord would work. And then this fun antler pick to put in the center. And then on the garland, along with the beads, I actually used that Sherpa fabric to cover little 1-inch foam balls, CraftFōM balls, to make the little snowballs in the garland. So some of the tools that you'll need, of course, some scissors to cut your Sherpa, and then some diagonal, these are diagonal cutters, they call them, wire cutters. And then I know this pick has a really stiff wire that's kind of hard to cut with those. So if you have the opportunity to get a pair of these, I believe they're called combination cutters or compound cutters. They're just a little more heavy duty, and they'll do a really good job of cutting that heavier stem on that antler. But if you use a little elbow grease, these will do the job too. Then we're gonna need a glue gun. This is CraftSmart's low temp glue gun. And you're gonna wanna use low temp because a lot of the times the high temp guns get so hot that they'll melt our foam and things won't secure to it. So you'll want a low temp glue gun. Some of those guns have high or low settings. So you could find one of those too. And then I grabbed to thread the cord, whatever you're using, through the little Sherpa foam balls that I built. I just grabbed some of this 18 gauge stem wire, It could be, I don't know what else you could use as a, I mean, you could use a large needle to thread it through too, if you have a large needle that you can thread this cord onto. But I'm just going to show you how to use just a simple piece of wire just to make like a needle to go through your garland, thread your garland a little easier. And then you might need some greening pins. And they are just little U-shaped pins that, I'll lay it on there so you can see it. That just secure items to our foam really nicely. And I think that's all you're gonna need today. The first thing I did was cut a 30-inch long by 6-inch wide piece of Sherpa. And you'll see when you get it out of the package that one way it stretches really far and one way it doesn't stretch. So you want the 30-inch length so that it stretches. Just be sure that you're cutting it out of the, and actually I think the 18 by 30, it's more like a 20 by 34. So you might need to cut a little bit off that end. So the first thing you're going to need is your glue gun. All I did to get started is take your 6-inch wide end and you're just going to lay it right over the face of the wreath. So just like that, lay it over. And you're just going to glue right along the edge, 6-inch edge. And glue it in place on the wreath all the way around to the back. That's how you get started. And then just wrap it kind of around. We're not going to wrap it yet. So take this other end. Glue along the edge, just like that, right along the edge. And then butt that right up to the first piece. And glue that around. And you want those really tight together where the seam is because you don't want to see where the two are. All right, and then all you're going to do is just stretch it over. Just like that. How easy is that? All right, and then once you get it centered around the face of the wreath, you're just going to go around to the back and secure both edges of this Sherpa all the way around. And I would put the glue on the Sherpa and not on the wreath. So then you're sure that it's touching glue when you wrap it around. And it doesn't have to come all the way around to the back, just as long as you don't see it from the side or the front. So again, a little stretch of glue. And bring it up. I'm just going to go all the way around this inside first. And then we'll stretch it around and go around the outside. What do we have? Where are people calling from today?
We have someone from New Jersey, and we also have someone in Florida. It's 77 degrees there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a high of 25, and I don't think that includes the wind chill right now. So.
Right. All right, I'm going to start putting around this outside edge because it looks like it's going to shift on you. So what we're going to do is a little bit on the inside and a little bit on the outside. keep it from twisting on you. A little bit of glue along the edge. Roll it up around the wreath. And what this is doing is it's keeping it nice and evenly stretched so that it's nice and fluffy all the way around. Keeps wanting to spring around on me. All right. A little bit more on the inside. And you could wrap this wreath with ribbon. Would be another option if you didn't want a snowy wreath. Wanted a pop of color, you could wrap around and around with ribbons. Oh, Michael's has some beautiful Christmas ribbons out right now. Hey, we're almost there. So a little bit more on the inside, keep it even. My glue gun is fuzzy. So it gets a little snug towards the end, as you can see, but here we go. Like I said, the back of it doesn't have to be covered because you're not going to see it. All right. So that's that. All right, and then you can choose your pick. And then you'll only need one. Actually, do we want to do the garland first? Let's do the garland first. That's going to take more time. So you're going to have a little bit left over on your Sherpa when you cut for your wreath. So all I did was take a little square that would fit around this little ball. And you're just going to bring all the little edges up straight as you can. And then find the ball in there. Add a little glue inside. And I just kind of go around in a circle, a little bit in the middle. And that's just going to tack down all those little edges around the ball. Just go around tight. And then where you put the glue, just come back in with your scissors and trim that off. And it makes a little snowball. So if we take, this is actually a nice, the antler, the stiff wire from your antler is kind of a nice skewer to use for your ball. So you just kind of work it through and it makes a nice hole for your needle and thread to pop through. It takes a minute to get it through that fabric, but once you get it through there, kind of wiggle it a little bit and make that hole a little bigger so that it's nice and open. And I leave it sit right on there so that I can find my hole again. And take your piece of wire or your needle, your large needle, make a little loop at one end for your thread to tie onto. And then go ahead and thread. That's a big needle hole too, and I still can't thread it. Here we go. So go ahead and thread on your cord and cut quite a bigger piece than you will need. And then probably doesn't have to be that long. I have my cord threaded through my little fake needle. And then pop that off there. Oh, don't have my little beads on yet. So the way I did it, I think I did 3 beads and then a snowball and then 3 beads and a snowball. And then where I attached it to the wreath, I used a smaller bead. So a little smaller bead to attach to the wreath and then 3 and then a snowball. And then again, 3 and then a smaller one at the other side. That's how I did it. But of course, it's yours and you can do it however you want. A little one. It's too bad. Well, maybe it won't go through the little one. There it goes. Oh, and these little guys, a little bit bigger. 3 of those. Oh, I think that's I think that one's too big. Is everyone all decorated for Christmas? Don't feel bad if you're not. I'm not yet.
I am not either. My parents are, but I am not. So
Does everyone do just a traditional tree? Are there other things that they set up every year? We all put wreaths on our front door. Anybody?
Everyone's pretty quiet today.
I guess so. All right, and then thread it right through the little snowball. Oh, it's caught up in the little thread. Well, I thought this was a good idea. Here it comes. Maybe not. There we go. Well, it's stuck on. So anyway, you get the idea. You thread your little beads on. Your little snowball. You want me to try that again so you can see it again? We're going to cut a little piece of Sherpa. That is just a little bit bigger than the ball. We're going to stretch it around the ball. All the way around. And then open up the little corners. Add a little glue. All that around the ball again.
Someone said they're in the process of decorating, so that's good.
That's good. That's
Mhm.
better than me. I thought about it. Does that count?
Yeah, it does count. There's some people that have been decorated since before Thanksgiving. So if you're in the process or you think about it, I think that's a good start.
Yes. Yeah. And kudos to those who have already been decorated since
Mhm.
Thanksgiving. It's nice because then you get to enjoy it so much longer. All that hard work. So if you have a real needle, I really would suggest you use a needle. This little trick just and 3 wooden beads. And another snowball. And they have larger beads. They have bags of larger beads too. So that's an option for you. And then to get this hole in the ball, I just used the sharp. Actually, I'm going to put a point in the edges. Might do it a little easier. So I just used this heavy wire on this antler to poke through. And like I said, it's a little bit tricky to get it through the fabric because it has those little threads in there. Once you get it through, just kind of wiggle it a little bit and make that hole a little bigger. And take your thread and try to get through that same hole. Grabbing the thread of the fabric when it comes through, and then it doesn't want to pull through. So this is the hardest part of the whole project. Threading the goofy little balls onto your cord. So then I did 3 more. And I don't know how many more I need to do. Maybe we can come back to this and finish this if we have time after. So that's basically the threading the garland. And then we're going to come back to this if we have time. I will do the last two. All right. So the antler, only gonna need it to be maybe 1.5 inches because you don't want it to poke through the bottom of your wreath. I'm gonna cut it right here at the sticker. And then I'll show you, these do cut it. It's just not nearly as easy. And if you wiggle back and forth, it does help if you bend it back and forth when you're cutting. All right, and then you want to put this right where your seam is. Your greens will kind of cover up that front of it. So if there is a little bit of spot that you don't like where your seam came together, it's a good spot to put it. You'll hide it with your greens. So we're gonna put him right there in the center, just like that. And then you really only need one of these picks to do both sides because we're gonna split it up. So let's say we'll do 2 red. So if you have this particular stem, I'm gonna cut where the 2 berries are at the top and cut it right there. And that'll be on this side. And then this other portion, this other side. And then to do this middle, we'll just take another little piece, and that's going to cover up our center a little bit. We add our pine cones. So these could just get pinned right there with your greening pins. And you're going to want to wiggle a little because remember you're going through that fabric threads. Add a pin there. And a pin there. And then depends on whether you want to secure it a little more. If that feels like it's good, or if you want, you can add another to the secured in there nice with a couple of them. All right. And then this little pine cone pick, I cut part 2. So you'll only need 1. So I'm going to cut. There's a large and there's 2 small. So you kind of just divide it in half again. Cut off this top portion. We'll add this to this side. Just right over top of your pine pick. And then this guy, come off shorter. And add them to the side. And do that with the green pins again. And then these little pine cone picks are all wired. So put them however you want them. Something like that. And then this little guy that you kept from the stem, I would just add right in there. That's going to cover up all your pins and all the ends of all of your stem and pin. You'll just pin that right there. And then we want to go back, show a couple more of these. I'll show you again for the little snowball.
Yeah, I would go ahead and show one more.
Again, I just covered it with a small square. I keep going out of camera. You guys gotta yell at me. It's just a small square of fabric. Gonna add a little bit of glue where all the edges come together. Fold that up around your ball.
Instead, we're going to add a couple sticks of cinnamon as well.
Yummy.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We love that.
Super good idea. And then it will even have a holiday smell. I love
Mhm.
cinnamon.
And that's the beauty of these products is you can, these crafts, you can do whatever you want to them. So we love the creativity. So
Definitely. And I do have a couple ideas I'm gonna show you when we're finished with this, how you can change it up. So please be sure if you're doing this a little bit different, take a picture of it and put it up on, remind me, Lindsay, hashtag make it with Michaels. Or
Hashtag make it with Michaels and hashtag Michaels classes.
yeah, so be sure to share it with us. We'd love to see it.
So usually Karen puts the cinnamon sticks on her wreath. She says, I have 3 dogs. I need all the help with deodorizing that I can get.
Oh, how cute.
Donnie and I have dogs too, so we completely understand. We love that. So, mhm.
That's funny. I can't again, guys. I get so into what I'm doing that I forget that you guys are trying to watch me, so. We're just stretching it around there and bringing all the excess to one side and then trimming it off next to the ball. And what's about this Sherpa is even though you cut it and glue it together, it kind of hides everything. You don't really see all that. And I have another, there it is. So the last one, I'm just gonna take it right in the middle. So it's a piece about that big. And bring all those corners up. Add a little glue in there. Put all up right tight around the ball. And trim it. Like that. Back to my not so great needle. I actually think I used a real needle on the one I did, so. Oh, my little stick. So this was the stick from the Antler pick, and I use it because it's just a real sturdy, heavy wire in there. So you want to just go right through. Well, when you come out the other side, it's going to be a bugger because you're trying to go through that fabric. So once you have it through there, you're just going to wiggle it around, make that hole a little bigger so that it's easier to get your needle through. And pull that out and put your needle in. It worked. All right, and then a few more beads. And we could use colored beads on here. You could put some jingle bells on here. What else is somebody gonna thread on their garland? Right, and then another ball. So again, we just poked this heavy wire from the antler. Oh, right through the other side. Wiggle it around and make that hole a little bigger. Thread it on. I'm trimming the little thread that the needle caught is what I'm trying to do here. I don't know if you guys can see, but. All right, a few more beads. How about Christmas shopping? Does everyone have their Christmas shopping done? I hope not everybody does, because then I'm gonna feel really bad. I'm not decorated or shopping done.
Like the crazy year we've had on the end last year. I think it's okay if
Okay.
you have it. I have not started either. So.
Oh, good. You guys, Mariah is like really sweet, so I don't know if she really didn't start or she's just trying to make me feel better.
No, I promise I have not started. Trying to figure out what everyone, what they want, and that's the hardest part,
Yeah. All right, that's all of our rows. So now we got our last beads. I think I actually used the smaller diameter beads on this garland, which is okay because then you'll be able to see the difference. If you want a larger bead or a smaller bead. And then the tiny one on the end, and that's what we use to attach it to the wreath. All right, and then tie a knot right around this last bead so it doesn't come undone. Like that. So I just tied it right around the bead and then pull everything tight to that side. Trim off. And then do the same thing on this side. Tie it real tight right around that end bead. Somehow. Like that. I'm trying to make sure it's knotted good. Okay. Trim that. And then you can just glue these. You can glue these beads right through the Sherpa, or you could get a couple of pins, straight pins, which I don't have right here in front of me. Well, I'm going to glue it. So add a little glue to your end bead. Figure out where you want it to swag and just hold it there until it dries. And I had mine kind of swag at a little angle. So right about there maybe. Do that in place. And I see that with the smaller beads, it made a little bit shorter garland. That's okay. All right, guys, so that's it for that style. Now, do you want me to take it apart and show you a couple more ideas? So another thing I found at Michael's was this fun little, look at him, little toy soldier. So same thing, I'm just gonna trim his stem to about an inch, inch and a half. Take him out. And then with the toy soldier, I don't know if you would want the beads necessarily. You might. But then I thought that these would be kind of fun with him.
Both look great. I really think the red really brings it together.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So take these off and then I'll just show you a little bit different look with the different Christmas pick. And that one already has pine cones in it. A little bit of gold glitter kind of sets off the gold in the. So this one, if you have this pick, I would, again, there's kind of a gap between. So I would cut it right there. So this would be one piece. A little shorter. And we could cut this right here. This one right on the other side. And you can add in these guys if you want a little white in there too. You can add that in. Or, no, we don't like that one. Anyway, that is another way you could do it. And then if you didn't like the garland, you could do a piece of ribbon there. You could do a bow at the top. It's just another fun look for a wreath. And then also, because I showed you how to create the little snowballs for the garland, like that, you can make this adorable little snowman. So he is just a 2-inch ball and a 3-inch ball, and I just covered it the same way that I covered the garland. So you could add him. You could actually use your stem from your pick to glue up inside the snowman. Add a little glue. Glue that up inside there so he will have a stem. Make sure that's dry before you try to put them in. And if you have trouble getting through, go ahead and snip a little hole in the Sherpa. And that will give you a place to attach your snowman. And then, oh, little stem went right up inside there. I guess it wasn't dry. All right. Let's put that right there and let that dry inside him. And then maybe he could have these snowy little branches. Would be fun. So again, I would split it. You could do like half and half. These are a little bit bigger, but I think they still work. Something like that. And another one on this other side. Something like that. And bend them so that they kind of hide the stems under there. And find him a little home right down here in the center. Maybe. This one. You could add a little hat on him or little mouth, little buttons, however. But 3 super simple ways to decorate this Sherpa wreath with whatever your decor likes. If you like the lot of the toy soldier product in Michael's right now. So either theme that you like will work. And since we have a little bit of time, I am going to show you what we are doing for, is it December 15th? You want to go to front facing camera and I'll show them a couple upcoming projects. So this is it's a holiday gifting idea. All I did was used our diamond dust in our white foam ball and painted it and put a little diamond dust in there. And then that's kind of your arranger to add the birds, the pine cones, and the greenery inside. And then to the top of the lid, I glued a little battery operated string lights so it lights up. It's a cute little gift idea. And then on January 5th, I'm going to show you how to do this fun New Year arrangement, and then show you how to quickly change out a few flowers and a few colors to have it flow right into Valentine's Day for you. A couple fun projects coming up. All right, so does anybody have any questions? Does anyone need to see any steps over again? Be quiet.
I love the project for next week, especially with the cardinals. So
Oh,
I'm really
nice.
excited for that. So make sure you join us for that one. What is the date on again for that?
That
one?
is December 15th
Okay.
at 1 Central. It's a Wednesday. And then January 15th at 1 for the floral arrangement.
Mhm.
All right, everyone, I'll get these. Oh, my little
Oh,
snowman fell
We
off.
also had another question before you go, Dondi.
Okay.
Someone asked, how do you know if you have a low heat glue gun?
It'll say right on the package when you buy the gun, it'll say whether it's low temp or high temp, right on the package. And then if it's one of the guns that do high or low temp, it'll have a switch right on the side of the gun that says high and low. So
And then if it's probably something you already have, I would definitely Google the brand and kind of see what the options are. So
yeah, for sure. All right, everyone. I guess there's no further questions. Here's our side by side, do a couple different ideas for you. And until next time, thanks for making it fun with FloraCraft. See ya.